Okay folks, welcome back to The Long Dark. Faithful Cartographer has finally released. Well, I say finally, it's actually caught me on the hop. I was all prepared for this to go out week beginning the 12th of June. That's when I read in one of the devlogs that it was going to potentially be released. There wasn't a set date, but it's come out on the 7th of June. Today's the 8th of June. I completely missed it. I was hoping to get straight in there as soon as it released and get going with a new series. But I kind of mucked up slightly, and I wasn't ready, so I kind of missed it by a day. But we're here now, we're in Faithful Cartographer. I haven't even read the changelog. I've got the changelog here on my ever-present tablet. I have the changelog, where hopefully we can go through as we play the game. Let me move over to the microphone so you can actually hear me. So yeah, I've got the changelog here. I haven't played this at all, so we're starting a brand new series. We're going to go, obviously all the saves have now been wiped, as we were anticipating, so we're going to go in. We're going to go in Stalker mode. And where shall we start? I don't fancy starting in Desolation Point. I don't fancy starting in Forlorn Muskhead, because that did not end well the last time I did that. Or on Timberwolf Mountain. Do you know what? I don't know. Let's go for Coastal Highway. I don't think I've spawned on Coastal Highway. And we're going to be Will this time. Okay, so this is... I'm going to call this YouTube Sandbox, simply so I know which one it is. So let's get ourselves in to the game. I'm very excited because I know things have changed. Again, it's not major changes, but there are some new things. You can already tell the text is different, the font is different. The intro sequence, which I didn't record for this video, is also different. And a few other things, little bits and pieces, are slightly different. That's the top item on the change list is some changes to the interface, user interface overhaul. Oops, and you can immediately see it right there. That's totally different. Oh, that's going to take a bit of getting used to. Okay, that's totally different to what I'm used to. That's not actually giving me the bars, look. Oh, that's totally different. Oh, I see. Right, okay. That's a bit more like... Oh, okay. Right, fine. Obviously I'm on Coastal Highway. I don't know where I am. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea where I am. I don't know Coastal Highway that well, actually, to be honest. So you suddenly realise how well you know regions is where you have to navigate them blind from a starting position. I don't think I'm really going... I don't know where I'm going. I just have an urge that I'm going in the wrong direction, so let's come out and try and swing around to the right. That should take us down to the coast, and we can find ourselves some shelter somewhere. Obviously we are in Stalker, so we've got to be a little bit careful. Let's have another quick look at the hood. Oh, yep, that's changed. It looks very snazzy, I have to say. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, but it looks very snazzy. Yep, it's going to take a bit of getting used to. That is my tablet's locked. Oh, there's a hut. Where are we? Well, here's a hut, so I'm going to go in it. And we can have a proper look at these user interface changes. When we get inside this here cabin. Oh, it's not just a click now. You have to click and hold for a few seconds. Okay, that's a little bit different. Okay. Oh, same again for searching containers. You have to hold the button down. Okay.
This'll keep the lamp burning.
Certainly will. That's new voice acting as well. And the overall world just looks a little bit different as well. Beef jerky. A flare. That's a new texture graphic for the flare. And nothing else. Can we break these down yet? So this will be our first firewood. So let's do that. Now, is that the kind of clock now? It must be, yes. So we're kind of midday. So it's not giving us a number of hours remaining now. It's just telling us that a bit more like a sundial-y type clock. It's a little bit different. Okay, well we've pretty much gutted this, but I want to have a look at these at the changelog before we go anywhere else. So let me just unlock my tablet so we can see this. User interface overhaul. All screens, buttons, HUD elements have been updated to better match the game's aesthetic, which is very true, they certainly do, along with some usability changes in anticipation of Wintermute. Accessible interactions. Added a new option in control settings, which I haven't... Obviously, that's probably something you have to turn on. For players who suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome and similar conditions, which does include me with RSI, this makes all click, press and hold interactions a single click press. Oh, okay. So that essentially turns, at the moment we're having to click, press and hold to search these things, which is new, but apparently we can essentially change it back to the way it was. But to be honest, that's not going to cause me a problem. Obviously, we've had the save system overhaul. Recreated the save system from scratch to future-proof game. As a result, everything has been wiped, so that's cool. Charcoal mapping. Obviously, this is called Faithful Cartographer, and the Cartographer bit means we can now make maps. Can we have a quick look at that? Apparently there's a navigation menu. There it is. We can open our map. And obviously at the moment it's completely blank. Oh, and apparently we can access it from the backpack as well. And yes, all this has changed. Oh, there we are. That's totally different. That's totally different. So, okay, that's completely blank, and we can't do anything about it because we need charcoal, which we gather from fires. So right now we can't do anything about that. Let's just go into... Well, that brings up our status. So we are feeling cold, and we're getting colder. Air temperature is -4 degrees. Feels like -1 with the clothes that we're wearing and our beard. We are pretty well rested, and we're okay food and drink wise at the moment. Clothing, we only have basic kit at the moment. We haven't found anything else either. In the backpack, this is totally changed, and it actually looks pretty cool. So we've got, this is everything that we're currently carrying with us, which is not a fat lot. And then we have fire starting stuff, first aid, clothing, food, drink, tools, and materials. So that's pretty good. So we've got a few things there. That's the journal. That looks pretty much the same as it always has done. And navigation is brand new. Okay, so there we go. There's the menu changes then for Faithful Cartographer. Pretty different, it's fair to say, to what we're used to, particularly this, because that's not displaying the temperature, which, as you probably know if you've seen my playthroughs, I do look at that quite a lot. So that's going to be interesting. Also, this clock is very different as well. It's not telling us how many hours of daylight we have left or how many hours of darkness we have left. It is literally just showing us the moon and the sun. Okay, let's drop ourselves down to the road. Now, there have been some visual changes as well. My tablet's locked itself again, so I can't read it until we get inside somewhere and can have a nosy. But I think I can see graphics look slightly clearer, slightly sharper, higher resolution, I think, as well. That was pretty good actually. So these are the fishing huts, are they not? Oh yes, and you can throw stones now as well. So we'll pick these stones up and you can throw them. You can stun rabbits with them as a method of hunting, and you can also throw them at wolves, and if you're very lucky it scares the wolf away. So that might be something worth trying out. I haven't actually been to this particular section of Coastal Highway for a while actually, the fishing camp. Let's see what's inside this here hut. Oh, you have to press and hold the buttons now. It's going to take you a bit of getting used to. Not a problem, it's just a bit different. Soda, pork and beans, nothing else, nothing in there. I haven't really got any light sources as such at the moment, so just got to kind of hope I don't miss anything obvious. Search through the container. And is that something there? It's a shelf. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything knocking around. It is starting to turn to night now. Oh, I've just realised the little clock. I've just realised something. The little clock telling you the time of day has moved into the top right hand corner, which is where my picture is. So you can't see it. I've just realised. So I've been talking about it. You can't even see it because it's behind my picture. Right, I'm going to have to move me. I'm going to have to move. I am thinking with the webcam image of me, because I'm, you know, my ego needs some building up a bit. I don't want to get rid of it, but on the flip side, I'm gonna have to move it. I can't leave it where it is. It's getting in the way. So we're gonna have to have a think about that. I think it might move down to the bottom right hand corner, and I do want to see if I can go green screen with it. so you don't get the square box, you literally just get me. I don't know whether we can do that with OBS, because I record in case you... Well, I've never really mentioned how I do it. I use OBS. Oh, that's pretty cool. And definitely looks like the graphics have been changed for that as well. I don't think I've ever... Can you sit on chairs? No, you still can't sit on chairs. I don't think I've ever mentioned how I actually do this, but I use OBS, Open Broadcast Software, for recording. And I actually record the webcam... Excuse me. Excuse me, I have a bit of a throat infection at the moment, so I'm a little bit sniffly and a little bit. Well, I say throat infection; it's a cold, to be perfectly honest with you. Which you can thank my girlfriend for. Well, actually, no, you can thank her brother for it. He's the one it originally came from, passing it round the family. So I'm a little bit sore throat and snuffled up and not very good at the moment. Okay, so we're heading into the evening. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I wanted to go chroma key with the webcam image, so that it's kind of a little bit less obtrusive. It's still there, but it's hidden a little bit down in the bottom corner. That's what I'm going to look at doing. Obviously, that's going to be for me a bit of a problem. You can see behind me, I'm in my living room, and I've just got all the clutter behind me and everything. So if I have green screen, I need to set that up somewhere and all that rigmarole. So it's going to be a bit complicated to do. So hopefully I can come up with a way of doing it without too much faff. Oh, that's okay. That might be useful. It's gone a bit dark now. I can't really see what I'm doing. So I'm guaranteed to be missing things. It isn't officially night yet, but not far off. Okay, so I'm going to try and sleep then. Sleep menu is looking pretty much the same. Let's see if we can do 4 hours. Definitely looking good, fitting in with the game's aesthetic. We woke up fully rested. But obviously I have absolutely no idea. We're not even halfway through the night yet. Let me bring back up the changelog so that we can have another quick look through things. Carcass quartering. In addition to previous harvesting mechanic, you can now quarter a carcass into bags of harvestable meat, allowing you to transport them to a better location for further harvesting. So that's quite interesting. I've always argued that you should be able to move carcasses. You shouldn't have to harvest them exactly where they fall. So that's pretty good. Scent system. Blood, your owner from carcasses, makes you more attractive to predators. And there's a new element in the heads-up display which shows you that. I'm going to... I don't know which one that is, though. Okay, I don't know. Unless it's talking about something that pops up around the edge of the screen to show how attractive you are to predators if you are bleeding or if you're carrying carcasses with you. Visual updates, updated lighting, fog colour, fog distance, providing much longer vista views in the game, which makes it easy to navigate by visible landmarks. That's quite good. Also been updating the interior lighting, which we've definitely noticed already. First person presence, following tools have been updated with hands, rifles, bows, distress pistols, stim, and all light sources. So that's good. Thrown flares and torches. Removed brandishing and brought back the old throwing mechanic. Okay, so we've got rid of brandishing and we're now back to throwing things again. So that's kind of gone backwards, but I assume that's because people have commented on it and felt that was a better way of doing it. Which, oops, my microphone's broken again. Which, to be quite honest, was always my preference. What else have we got? Stone throwing, we've already mentioned. You can throw stones at things. You can now choose available weapons and tools if you are when you go into a wolf struggle. So you can either choose weapons that will scare off the wolf, defend yourself from damage, or go for the kill, depending on what you want to do. First aid treatment has changed as well. You can now treat afflictions by using first aid items directly from the radio without having to go into the affliction menu. The game no longer pre-selects the correct treatment for you, so you have to know what to do. Also, Old Man's Beard dressings no longer require bandages, but don't stop blood loss. So they've changed Old Man's Beard wound dressings, which is a bit of a pain. So that means they're no longer as useful as they used to be, but still worth carrying around. Updated Unity, work on several optimizations to improve performance. Enhanced graphics options, added a variety of display and quality settings, which we haven't really looked at. And also they've introduced PS4 controller support, because the game is going to be launching on PS4 with Wintermute. and that means you can now play with a PS4 controller on PC if you have one connected, which I do, but not right at this precise moment. And there's quite a lot of crash and bug fixes. There is some stuff with the journal as well. You can craft from the journal, but it's you can preview crafting blueprints in the journal. All craftables that can be made without the use of a workbench or forge can now be crafted directly from the journal, but it is a work in progress. But known issues. Issue with Hunted Part 1. Well, we're not playing that, so that's fine. New time of day indicator should appear in both quick stats and the radial UIs. At the moment, it doesn't. Not that you can see it, but in the radial UIs, you don't have the time of day indicator, so I assume that's something they're going to sort out. Localization strings did not make it into the building time, so there's some translation issues if you're not playing in English. And investigating issue with the game not loading on Linux. If you're using Linux, I didn't even know you could play Long Dark on Linux. There is a bug reporting database as well with the Long Dark. You can find it on Hinterland forums if you want to find it. And Faithful Cartographer is the last time. They're going to be updating Sandbox in early access. Thanks for everybody's support. And of course, we're going to go for the full launch of the Long Dark on the 1st of August. Blah, 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 blah. And that is the end of the changelog. So, some pretty major changes there, but I think some pretty good ones. I'm actually pretty psyched up here. So, I'm going to have to pass time to get through the night. So, I'm going to try and pass time for 4 hours. Just to see if we can get ourselves through the night. The new clock actually looks kind of cool. It's just a shame you can't see it. I'm going to have to move my picture for the next video, I think. Whoops, I'm accidentally dehydrated. There you go, you can see the dehydration indicator at the bottom there. Do I have any water? I bet you any money I don't. Whoops, but I do have a soda, so I can drink that. There we go. Soda, sorted. That gives us some calories as well. Weather's not sounding really nice out there, so I'm going to try and sleep now for a few hours. See if it'll let me sleep. And as before, the time of day indicator, the clock, whatever you want to call it, disappears when you go to sleep. And we woke up fully rested once more, and we are heading towards daylight, but we're not quite there yet, so we're going to have to pass time for a few more hours and try not to die in the process. We've gone. Oh, you now can't cancel out of passing time either. Oh, okay. Excellent. So that's going to knock our condition down a bit. And condition is now this little health bar down in the bottom left-hand corner, which replaces the percentage condition. I don't know whether it's 93%, so it is indicated on the status menu. Okay, so I think we are now into daylight, or certainly we're looking like we are, but the weather is not looking very nice outside. It certainly doesn't sound very nice. Yes, I know. We're going to head outside, and we're going to see if we can get a fire lit. Obviously I've got a... Okay, I don't think we stand very much chance here, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think we have much of a chance of... Let's see if we can... Can we get... I don't think there's any kind of fireplace in any of these huts, to be honest. A bit of food here.
You can always use more food.
Yep, I was about to say the exact same thing, actually. You took the words right out of my mouth. Okay, nothing much more in here. What we need to do, I think, is try and find ourselves a building that we can build a fire in. And I think we're going to struggle, actually, to be honest, because on the coastal highway you can't really do that in most of the buildings. But we're not going to be able to light a fire in this. It's just not going to work. It's very, very cold out here, as you would expect, and the weather is not very nice. I'm going to get on the road, which is not necessarily the safest thing in the world to do. And we're going to head this way towards the town site, and we're going to see if we can get there before we die. Our condition is dropping quite rapidly because we're dehydrated, but there's no way on earth I can light a fire in this. It's not going to work, so we can't get any water at the moment. So we're on a bit of an emergency dash to try and find somewhere we can get ourselves sorted out before we drop dead. And I'm hoping I don't come across any wolves either. But I do have a flare, and I do have some matches, and that is it. That's all I've got. So Oh, well, that's also...
My feet.
That's kind of cool. Oh, God, we really are dropping very, very quickly. Temperature issues. Okay, we're at hypothermia risk. But we haven't actually got hypothermia. A car coming up here, but that's not really going to help us with the temperature. So I'm going to try and just keep going, I think.
Die if I don't. Oops.
Yeah, I know, don't worry. Oops, have we just run out of... I'm assuming... Oops, wrong button. The sprinting... Oh, there's the sprint bar. That's kind of cool. We'll do a bit of sprinting now, see if we can get ourselves a bit further down the road. Obviously, I'm aiming for the town site, that's where I'm going. If I can get to the gas station, at least we are... I love the new running animation, that's cool. I love that. Could actually have gone across the lake, it would have been a little bit quicker. Never mind. Temperature is not good. It really is not good. I got a bit distracted early in the game playing the What's It update. And to add to my troubles, my stopwatch has stopped working. I've lost my stopwatch. There we go, I've got it back again. I'm really hoping we don't die in this first video. That would be very, very embarrassing. Okay, we're at log sort. So at least we can just duck inside and try and warm ourselves up. And you never know, we might find a soda in here. Because I don't think there's a fireplace in this one. No, there isn't. It's a slightly bigger hut, but there's still no fireplace in it.
I think I can use this.
Bit of cloth. And there is actually a thin wool sweater. And I've just forgotten. I picked up some more clothing, didn't I, before? So I need to pop that on. At least we're no longer at hypothermia risk. They're all empty. Anything in the cupboards? Sardines.
I'll be hungry later.
Well, I like the new sound effects for door opening. Oops, missed the middle one. Matches. Pork and beans. Please let there be some coffee in here. It's a cabinet down here that we haven't seen. Ooh, there's quite a lot of cabinets in here actually.
Gotta eat this food.
And these have been retextured as well. So we're now having to click and hold the mouse button when we're searching items rather than just clicking it. It's a little bit different now. Oh, of course we've got the toilet with water in it, haven't we? I forgot about that. Okay. We'll drink that in a sec. Let's just pick up... Oops. I don't like the flare. Right, so we need to drink. So let's get in here and let's drink very, very rapidly. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get the hang of where everything is. So let's drink. There we go. So that's that little problem sorted. I've just spotted some peanut butter down there. Okay, and this building has an upstairs. So let's go up and have a quick look. Upstairs we have Dead Dude, as we quite often do. Nothing. And a completely different bedspread as previously. It's a lot brighter. So yeah, there's been some... Oh, no. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so I did not mean to light that flare because I got slightly distracted looking at the timing there. I didn't mean to light it, so I've now used my only flare, which is slightly embarrassing. Okay, let's see if the weather has improved any then, if I can find my way back to the door. Where is this? Can we go in these cupboards? No, still can't go in those cupboards. Right, okay, let's leave the house then. Let's see if the weather's improved any outside. It has. Still cold, but at least we can see what we're doing. And in theory, we can light a fire, but I think I am going to make my way... Oh, well, we have got the trailer here, I suppose. So let's drop over to the trailer, have a quick look in the trailer, see what we've got. Might as well take advantage of having this lit flare to have a good look around the dark corners of all the buildings. It's not completely wasted. Nothing on any of the floors. Very much in here, to be honest. We've got some antiseptic. We do have a storm lantern. That'll come in handy. We'll get inside there. And a soda. And we have a chocolate bar. And that is it for inside the trailer. So let's head back outside. Okay, let's see if we can get over to the gas station before we get to the end of this video. That's probably... Oh, well, the weather changes quick round here, doesn't it? Okay, let's head back onto the road. I know this is not the safest... Oh, we're back to hypothermia risk again. I know this isn't the safest way to do it, but... it's the easiest when you're in a whiteout and you can't easily see where you're going. Can we sprint? Oops, wrong button. Let's get sprinting so we can run a bit faster. Following the road is not the easiest way to go, and it's not the safest. It is generally better to cut the corner off, but I don't want to get lost. But we can probably do it now because I can see one of the cabins, so we'll head for that cabin, I think. I think that's probably one of the town site cabins. And I think it's the one that I tend to use as a base, or have been using as a base when I've been over here, because I'm sure it's got a fireplace in it. So, we'll probably do a bit more sprinting now. Obviously, it's going to get us tired, but that's not a problem. We're going to get to the... We shall get to the hut. Just keep aiming for the hut. We are at hypothermia risk. I assume I can bring that up by doing that. Find someplace warm before hypothermia develops. And I've gone to silhouette, which indicates I have a problem. Doesn't tell me my percent. Oh, there it is. 10% chance of hypothermia. So we're relatively low percentage at the moment. So we shouldn't be too bad. Our condition I don't think is dropping because we're not dehydrated anymore. So yes. Let's get ourselves... I've just realised I haven't put those extra clothes on again, have I? Oh, never mind. We should be alright. We're heading for the hut. So if we can get in... I'm sure it's this one. Things have changed in the game slightly. You can definitely see the graphical changes and the texture changes that they've implemented. And some of the lighting changes are definitely there. I think it's all set for Wintermute. So if we keep going. Should be able to get ourselves in here. You watch, there'll be a wolf. Just round the corner when we come up to this, there'll be a wolf. Here we go, and I am fairly sure this is the one I've used before, although I don't remember it having a porch. I'm fairly sure this is one that's got a fireplace in it. Yes, it is. So this is probably a good base. So this is probably where I'm going to set up my base for this playthrough. So we shall bring all of our loot here, and we shall get ourselves organised here. We have a fireplace, we have a nice warm building, and it's quite large. And it's relatively central, but it's a little bit safer than the gas station, just because it's in a slightly different location. So that is Faithful Cartographer. The update has taken place, and it's actually looking pretty cool, so I'm really looking forward to this. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into another Sandbox playthrough. We're going to stay on Coastal Highway for a bit, and then we'll think about where we're going to go. I may head over to Desolation Point. I don't know. We'll have a think about it. And yeah, our goal, I think, is just to survive as long as we can and keep going and wait until Wintermute. So we have basically 2 months to wait till Wintermute, so we'll see how far we can get. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again very, very soon for some more Faithful Cartographer playthrough. See you again very soon.